I love it. I love it. Thank you so much for jumping in. I think we just have one girl that can't make it. And she had a list of questions. And she's like, please tell me to record. She had something come up and she was totally devastated.
Okay.
So Danielle, thank you so much for just meeting with us.
Of course.
Girls right here kick some serious booty. Like, I love that if you tell them to do something, they're like, how high? Like, they just run after it. They do it. They don't bitch. They don't whine. They don't complain. They just hustle hard. And I know that, oh my gosh, like one of them is like 2 seconds from 1 star. A bunch of them are 1 or 2 coaches from Diamond. And I know I just told you, Danielle, like my second business center literally needs 3 coaches by Thursday to be Diamond again. And I'm literally talking to people and I don't give them the option. You're going to be a coach. And I've already, like, I'll have it to Diamond by tomorrow. So I want to have Danielle kind of dive in and just any tips and tools you guys ask her questions, like dive in. And of course, Danielle, I had them obviously draw out their downlines and we kind of looked at everything pretty deep. And so they know exactly what they have to do to make that happen by October 31st. But we're at that point where we've been hustling really hard and we're like, okay, any tips? Like, what would you do this last, week and a half, 2 weeks of just hustling hard? So, and what you might say, and then have them ask you some questions too. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, well, thank you. I'm always happy to get on calls for my leaders and their team because you're still part of my team. So, and we do have a call right after this if you're able to make it at 8 p.m. Autumn Cheetah. She's actually one of Ashley's coaches and she just recently turned 5-star. And so wanted to get her to share some of her best practices. So if you have the ability, jump on. Also, Carl Deichler did a call for us today and I just posted the recording. So make sure you kind of check those things out. And I do want to leave this open for questions. So I'm just going to talk kind of briefly, and then I really want to use this time to answer your specific questions. But what I would say is this: every rank, in my opinion, is a decision, especially the ones earlier on. And to give you a little context of that, when we were pushing for double superstar diamond, we were already 13-star qualifying. And I kind of looked at everybody and I realized that one coach needed one coach. And then one of my other coaches needed 2 coaches. And I woke up the next morning and I was like, why am I like, I'm going to just take this into my own hands and I'm going to handle this. And I did. And so that day I made it happen and we went into 15-star qual and now we're a double superstar diamond team. And so I say that to say that if you want to be a diamond coach, you can be a diamond coach. It is 12 total people, 8 of your own, 4, 2 and 2. And I want you to think about that in the grand scheme of things. Like, this business is not hard. Yes, it takes hard work, but we play on our phones. We take sweaty selfies. We work out. It's not manual labor. You're not my trash man in 40-degree raining weather having to pick up my entire neighborhood's worth of trash. Like, sometimes I think we get it out of context for a minute. Like, when we hustle, it means sitting your ass down in front of your computer. Really? You know what I mean? And so, I'm not taking anything away from you. I don't know what your life is and I don't know what obligations you have, but what I know is that it's not that hard. And if Rhonda can make her second business center turn diamond by Thursday, you can be diamond by October 31st. Like, you can make that happen. And everything else will figure itself out. It's like, get the people in place, make it happen. And then once they're there, because here's the thing, the people that make you diamond won't be the people that make you star diamond. And the people that make you star diamond won't be the people that make you elite. And the people that make you elite won't be the ones that are with you when you're a superstar. Shit, even the people who made me double superstar, some of them are not, like, have already fallen off the face of the planet. So get to diamond, achieve that, or get to star diamond, achieve that, and then figure the rest out. And so, you've got so many tools in place. You've got challenge packs, you've got Shakeology, you've got beach bars, you've got Energize, like, you've got Shift Shop, you've got, there's you've got a little more obsessed. Like, there literally you've got To Be Mindset. Like, you have an entire toolbox where if you went up to somebody, you can look at it and go, oh, okay, I have something for you. You know, back in the dinosaur days, like we had 2 flavors of Shakeology. That was it. Like, and one of them was greenberry. You know, it's like you have like 7 flavors of Shakeology. You have snack bars. You have unicorn crack. Like, who doesn't love Energize? Like, you literally have 1,000,001 ways to help somebody. Like, there's very few people that I meet where I'm like, there's not a single solution in this toolbox for you. So I really want you to sit down, and if you've got that diamond roadmap drawn out, like, what does it mean to you? And honestly, what does it mean to Rhonda? Because, you know, what I've also learned is that over time, I've learned that people will work harder for me than they will for themselves. And so maybe you want it pretty bad for you, but you want it even badder. You want it even more for Rhonda, because she deserves to be at the table with us. Meaning, when she hits elite this year, again, for the second time, she will be one of 12 of us who will be elite on Team Fit and Funky. Like, she deserves a seat at that table. It will be a disservice to her and her hard work and how much she pours into y'all if she's not elite. And I mean that. She pours her whole heart and soul into y'all. I see her on social media every day, skipping in her little perfect britches, you know, showing up for y'all every single day. And if you can't get on your computer, do a couple of Instagram messages to people and make it happen, to me, that's almost like a slap in her face, especially when she is proof of a comeback. She is proof that the people that get you somewhere, I mean, she was already a lifetime 7-star, y'all, and she's having to rebuild because the people who were there were not the right ones, but y'all are the right ones. You know, I notice a lot of your names because I stalk that back office. I know who's signing coaches. I know who's doing things, right? And I know all your names. So now get a seat at the table with us, you know? So I'm going to open it up for questions, but I really want you to think about this. One is a decision. You could get off this call right now and you could make it happen. You could work until your eyes went cross. And even still, it wouldn't be that hard of work. When I think about when I was a school teacher, making what I make in a week all year, and I had to grade papers nonstop and come up with lesson plans nonstop and work until my eyeballs fell out, and I had to clock in and clock out and go to meetings and not even have a planning period and do all the different things. That was nowhere near as hard as sitting on my computer and sending out 20 Hey Girl messages, right? So I think sometimes we over dramatize. Oh man, I've been working so hard. I have just been hustling so hard. But really, you and I don't want to take anything from you. Meaning, yes, I know that this business can be time consuming. I know that can be addicting, but I also know it's worth it. As somebody who has legitimately changed her life and her family's life for the better from this business, I absolutely know that it's worth it. And it starts at Diamond and beyond. Like, that's where the magical income comes in. That's where the trips come in. That's when your community grows even more. And I said it actually in a group that I'm running today. I always laugh a little bit when somebody's like, oh, I just want to help people. And as like, that's their excuse for why they don't build their business. Well, who helps more people? Coach A, who sits at Emerald and sometimes at Success Club? Or me, double superstar diamond coach with a downline of 15,000, who helps more people? You want to help people, you build a big business, right? So, you know, I'm going to shut up and let you ask me like questions of like how to specifically implement, but y'all, it's not a secret. There's not I don't have a magical thing to tell you. I don't have a thing where it's like, okay, Ashley, if you do this, boom, you're going to be a 5-star diamond. It's like, okay, you do your workout, you drink your shake, you post consistently on social media, you talk to people, you do personal development, and you repeat. And you do that day in and day out and day in and day out on repeat until the end of time. Like, I don't do anything more different or special or talented than anyone else. I'm just consistent AF. And when you are consistent, that consistency will pay off. So I wish I could tell you, oh, say this thing, but I don't know, because who follows you is different than who follows me. And what will inspire your followers is different than what my followers are inspired by. So all I know is that you've got to try literally everything. Like that might mean bringing 30 yoga bags to, like, I made those, I don't know if y'all follow me on social media, but I'm doing this yoga training. And so I made little gift bags, so out of my comfort zone. Like I build primarily on social media. And I put a Shakeology packet, 2 Energize packets, 2 Hydrate packets in a Beach Bar in every one. Y'all, I signed 5 coaches out of that. 5, just for the discount. But they loved the product. I would have never thought of that because I'm like, oh, yoga's my happy place, blah, blah, blah. That's me trying everything. That's me, even where I'm at, not getting complacent. So have you tried everything? Or are you posting, sitting back and waiting and hoping? Like, do you have kids? Have you, for Halloween, instead of giving their teacher a gift, like just a gift card and candy, like teachers are overweight enough. I know I don't know why people feel the need to feed elementary school teachers. But instead, why don't you make them a little packet and put a Beach Bar in there, a packet of Shakeology along with a $10 gift card, and then say something like, I hope this helps curb your sweet tooth during this Halloween season. That's trying everything. So I don't want you to think that only social media is the only place. Like, yes, keep posting consistently on stories. Keep doing your CTAs and your calls to action. Keep sending Hey Girl messages. But who are you missing in your community? Have you talked to your neighbors, right? Like, do your neighbors around you know? Have you ever invited them over for a workout? Like at your kid's school, are they doing a silent auction for like the book fair? Like these are things that you should be like thinking of, like, oh man, that is a great opportunity. Because guess what? Those 5 yoga people that are now my coaches, I also they're following me and they're posting on my things, and either they're going to grow their business, or the ones that don't, guess what? I'm getting their network, right? Like every time you connect with a real life individual, you get their network of people. Have you reached out to the people who have told you, no, we're not right now, and asked them for referrals? Hey, you know what? I get it that now is not the right time for you to join my challenge group, but I'm just so obsessed with helping people get fit and healthy this season. If there's anybody that you can think of that would be great to join my challenge group, let me know, and I promise I will take great care of them. Like, have you asked for referrals? Probably some of you are like, no, because that's salesy. No, it's not. Referrals are everywhere, right? Like every time you buy a product, even on Amazon, right? Like they're going to offer you more things that you can buy. Or like when you go to a restaurant, they're like, oh, bring somebody back. And like referrals are everywhere. They're the way the world works. So have you asked for referrals? Maybe you've talked to all your family members. Maybe it's time to be like, hey mom, is there anybody at your job who, you think would be a great fit for this? Like, don't be scared. The worst thing that can happen is someone tells you no and you won't die. You won't die. And a lot of those people who tell you no just mean not right now. And 6 months from now, they're going to come back to you, and you dang well better be here, because when 6 months from now and they're ready and you're not here, that paints a bad picture for our company and for this business. So anyway, I'll shut up and I'll let you ask me specific questions, but I really want you to think about, 1, it's a decision. 2, it's really not hard work. Takes time, takes dedication, but it's not hard work. And 3, have you truly tried everything? Have you asked for referrals? Have you thought about where you can put samples in people's hands? Have you, thought about who in your community? Have you set up a table? Like, have you even done, so for example, I'm considering doing this with this woman I met who, we have this thing called it's not the Bad Wine Company. They're called Boots and Cellar or something, or Cellar and I don't know. It's some some wine company. It's like MLM, and it's healthy wine, and it's here in Dallas. And she was telling me about it, and she was so excited. And I was like, well, why don't we partner up? I was like, why don't we do a joint get together? You be in charge of the wine. I'll be in charge of the snacks. You can pitch your wine product. I'll pitch my Beachbody thing. And then, so it's you know what I mean? Are you thinking beyond social media? Because yes, social media will grow our business to scale, but the 1 coach you need to get to Diamond, or the 2 coaches you need to get to Star Diamond, are probably somebody in your inner community who already know, like, and trust you. and are like, oh girl, I've just been waiting for you to ask me. It's actually, that happened to me. Like, I am more afraid to ask the people in my real life than I am on social. And this woman came to my house and I didn't even ask her. And Darren was the one that pitched it. And then we wound up signing her as a coach. But if he had not said anything, I would have probably just let it go. So be thinking about, like, be intentional after this call, like make a list of like all the ideas that you haven't tried yet that you're like, you know, maybe at Halloween, it's like when the kids come by and like, if you make little baggies, like don't give away samples because it's too expensive, but maybe it's your business card or a little cute, like healthy Halloween tip or something with like your social media handle in addition to, like, you know, I don't know, but that's trying all the things, right? Like that's you trick-or-treating with a Shakeology shirt on and people being like, what's a Shakeology? Because it's a weird word, right? Like there's so many opportunities for you, like Thanksgiving's coming up. So maybe when you go to Thanksgiving at somebody's house or to a party, you literally bring like Shakeology balls as your snack, or you have a get together and you make all your dishes from Fixate and you have the containers out. Like I think we forget that there's an opportunity for real life humans, and that's going to get you those in the clutch coaches that you need by October 31st in order to help Rhonda become an elite team for y'all. So anyway, I'll shut up. What questions do you guys have?
I love that. Thank you so much, Tanya. You guys unmute your line and ask any questions. Let's dive in for sure.
Can I ask a question?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, first I was going to thank you so much for doing this, because this is just like unbelievable. I don't even know. I'm like peeing my pants. But and thank you for that speech at leadership that you did last from the leadership event. And one of the things you said in it was you can't be everything to everybody. Nope. And that was freaking huge to me, because I will run myself ragged trying to be everything for everybody. And so I shared that with my team, put it in my messenger thread with them and my page, and just shared that. I'm like, as always, amazing knowledge, take it all in, da 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 da. And I just love that, and I appreciated that, because I run myself ragged trying to be everything for everybody.
But I want you to think about that for a minute in the context of prospecting too. You can't be everything to everybody also means not only in all your roles in life, but it also means that you don't have to, like, I don't sign male coaches. Like, to give you an example, my dad, I'm sure he follows all y'all. Everyone thinks it's cute when it's not your dad. But anyway, he messaged me like a month ago because he met this guy who was like some 25-year-old bodybuilder guy that like lived across the street. And he was like, I told him all about you and your business and blah, blah, blah. And he sent me all his info and he's like, I told him about Beachbody. And I'm like, I was like, I'm probably not going to reach out to him. It's just like not really my vibe. And my dad was like blown away. He was like, what do you mean? Why would you turn someone down? I'm like, first of all, he's not going to join. Second of all, even if he does, I don't think he'll be successful. 3, he's not my tribe. Like, and I get to decide who I work with. So to that point, Ashley, of like, can't be all things to all people. I also want you to realize like, it's okay to super hone in on like who your tribe is and be okay with not like, I don't really prospect to men. The majority of the women that join my either team as coaches or my challenge groups are usually busy working moms, a lot of which are teachers or a lot of which are single, divorced, or remarried, because that's kind of who I was. And Rhonda's really great at that, in that like, she's like a little bit of fitness with a little bit of Jesus, right? So it's like that's who probably follows her, like kind of like Michelle Hamilton, like she's super Jesus heavy, like not my jam, but you know, so you get the right to work with, and when you do that, you really actually, you narrow the amount of people you're talking to, but the quality of people you're talking to is so much better. So also be okay with knowing that you might be speaking to a very specific type of woman, and that's okay, because you're more likely to sign more coaches that way.
Right. Okay. Yeah, that's awesome. It just really spoke to me, and I was like, oh.
Do you know who your like kind of avatar is, who you're speaking to, or who you want to be speaking to?
I do. I want people, like when I first started, it was kind of like help everybody that I can and sign everybody and help everybody. And I've really just gotten to like speak to who you're looking for. Who are you looking for? Who were you? Why were you struggling before you started Beachbody, and why did you start, and what drew you to it? And so I share like my journey, my how it all started, just how I was. And I know I put out there that I want people that are ready to hustle, that are ready to bust their ass, that are ready to go hard, that are ready to change their lives, that are ready to just be freaking uncomfortable and put themselves out there, because it's not about them. It's about what you can give people. And it's not about being afraid. It's not about being nervous about reaching out. It's about what can you give people? Like, it's such a gift. Like, Beachbody is such a freaking gift.
So I want to give you an assignment, all of you, which is create your avatar, but make her a real person. So for example, I always use my friend Brandy. She's actually on our team. And so Brandy is like 45. She's a mother of 3. She's a school teacher. She always yo-yos back and forth between 15 to 20 pounds needing to be lost. She lives basically paycheck to paycheck. Like, money is always a struggle for her. Brandy's my avatar. And when I'm speaking on social media about my challenge groups or about coaching, I'm thinking about Brandy. Like, would this message serve Brandy? Not just like, would this message serve a busy working mom? Like, so try to identify, if you can, a real life person. Like, you can give her a fake name and say, oh, she's this age. But chances are, you know, somebody in your real life who is your avatar. You know, also like Lori is really my avatar. I also think like, well, am I speaking to other Loris, right? Lori was a working mom of 3, you know, a hustler already, divorced, remarried. Like, Lori is my avatar. So think about who already exists in your pipeline, or who is like that perfect client or coach that you're looking for. And every time, like literally every time I make a post, I'm like, would this post serve Brandy? Would this post get me Lori again? And so I think if you identify that too, Ashley, of like, okay, who is that for you, right? Like for Rhonda, it could be you, Ashley, like, I don't know, but like identifying, and then identifying like, what are the key factors? So I know for Brandy, it's okay, you know, former teacher. I tend to still get a lot of teachers. It's, you know, battling that 15 to 20 pounds of weight loss. That tends to be the people I have. They struggle. They like yo-yo back and forth. They have like a not the healthiest relationship with food. They, you know, tend to live paycheck to paycheck, really use a secondary income. Like, these are things that when I really look at a lot of my coaches, that tends to be a thing. Like, even if I look at Rhonda, like Rhonda was struggling financially when she found me, and she was a busy mom. You know, she had 2 kids and her husband traveled a lot. Like, so it's like, when I look at my coaches, like, even though they may not have all the identifiers, they have some of those pieces. And so if you can really like put a person or a name or a couple to that, and then every time you make a message, think, is this message serving that person? I think it'll really help you like hone in on your target market. It'll make your calls to action so much stronger.
Okay. That's amazing. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Okay.
What else, you guys?
More questions, guys.
So Ashley, you're already diamond, yeah?
Yes.
You're pushing for 1 star?
Yeah, my girl Nikki is like this close.
What's her name?
Nicole DeMars Curry. Nicole DeMars Curry.
Okay. I usually know people by like their last name in the Coach Online office. So.
Yeah, she's got a long one. It's like she's awesome. She's a freaking straight up hustler. And when she started with me, it was all about her and like her journey. And she was absolutely adamant about not coaching. I'm like, it's just for the discount. We'll get you the discount. It's going to be awesome. She's like, okay, awesome. Sign me up. A week later, you're sure that I'm not going to have to coach because I don't want to coach. Did 80-day obsession, freaking fell in love with it. And just like it lit her up, and she cries when she talks about it. And she's unbelievable. Unbelievable.
That's awesome. Yeah. Jade, are you diamond yet? I feel like I see your name in the Coach Online office a ton.
No, I have. Okay, so I need to put 1 more under my husband, get him to emerald, and then 1 on the other side. So I have.
So that's it.
That's it. I have it all mapped out.
That's by Thursday.
By Thursday. Okay.
If you do it by Thursday, where do you live?
Nebraska.
Oh shit. Do you live near my girls, Ashton and them?
Yeah. Yeah.
And you're going to that, are you going to that Super Saturday?
Yes.
Cool.
And it's Sunday. I think it's Sunday.
Okay. You make it happen by this Thursday, then you and I will just set up a one-on-one call, just me and you, to map out your road beyond that.
Okay. I'm on it. I will be working.
That's 2 coaches. You can do that.
Yeah.
Cool. Megan, what about you? How far are you?
I have 2 on my left and 2 on my right. One who is inactive, but she really wants to hit Emerald. And I think her biggest thing is just getting back to being active and really getting plugged in. And then one that is on my left is already Emerald. So I guess
Why is she inactive? Like, what was her reasoning?
she's a full-time student, full-time teacher. She basically, I mean, I totally understand this. She said financially, it's just not a priority. But she says, next paycheck, I'm going to buy it. Okay, next paycheck, I'm going to buy it. So I think it's really just about making it a priority to herself. That really is, I know she wants it, but I think she needs to believe that she can do it. So she finally said that she's going to hop on our Emerald call tomorrow, which I believe that will make a difference.
Emerald and 24-hour call tomorrow. We're having a ton of coaches on it. So
Perfect.
Yeah. So,
Well, what other questions do you guys have for me?
I think
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. I know you can't see me. I don't know what in the hell is going on with my Wi-Fi, but I can hear everything you guys have said. I've logged in like 85 times, so I'm not going to do it anymore. But anyway.
No worries.
So I just have a quick question on a couple logistical things in terms of social media. I am watching Chalene Johnson as well, and she's talking about, over posting and how when you're doing 3 to 5 times a day, it's overkill because then they can't respond to you, or there's not enough.
As far as your main feed?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, I post once a day, maybe twice. And here's why. Because on Instagram, let's say I had a bucket of likes, okay? And so let's say in my hand were 100 likes that I was able to distribute out throughout the day. The likelihood of me giving Rhonda's 3 different posts, one of those likes, when I only have this limited number of my hand, does that make sense?
Yes.
So the idea is that the more you post, it can tend to cannibalize your other posts. So I only post once a day, maybe twice. So I would agree with her. Whereas on Facebook, not as true. You can post more and it's less relevant, if that makes sense.
Yes.
So I post once, maybe twice a day. You'll never see me post in my main feed 3 times a day. And where I do the majority of my where you can post a lot is Instagram stories if you've earned that time and you're sharing great content. So I would agree with her. I do not teach people anymore to post 3 to 5 times a day. So I'd rather you do 1 really, really great focused post, maybe 2 if you have something super extra to say, and be really intentional with that. And you should see your engagement go up because again, if I only have 10 likes, I'm not going to give Rhonda 3 of them. I'm going to save the rest for the other things in my newsfeed. And that's kind of how, if I'm scrolling through the newsfeed, I'm like, I'm only going to comment and engage with Rhonda so many times, if that makes sense.
Gotcha. Yeah, definitely.
Karen, while you're on, will you do me a favor and tell Danielle where you are with your coaches? Because you could be diamond by Thursday.
Absolutely. So I need 1 more. I believe it's on my right. I can't remember which side. I think it's my left. It's my weak leg. So I need 1 more on my weak leg. And then I need my 2 Emerald coaches. But one of the Emeralds is my son, who I will make. My sister's signing up this week. So she will be part of his Emerald. And then that was my other question is, can I actually sign somebody up to go under my son as a signed coach for him and not direct to me?
Yeah. So for example, I do that with my husband all the time and I'm just super honest. So if I were going to sign Rhonda, but place her under my husband, I would say, hey, Rhonda, you're going to see my husband's name in your coach sign up flow. Don't worry, I'm still your coach. However, I run a business underneath my husband, and that's just where the best placement for you in our team is at this moment. And so I am just super honest with them. And so yes, you can absolutely do it, and just let them know. There will be a random person every once in a while who will say something like, no, I just rather stay under you, which is fine. But most people are not smart enough to know or care. And so, yes, you absolutely can.
Okay, perfect.
And same kind of deal for you. If you make it happen by this Thursday, we'll set up a one-on-one call too to help you map out the rest of your year.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Also, I actually can't take credit for this, but somebody posted it in one of our groups, and I just started using it 3 days ago, but it's an app called When to Post. And it tells you based on all your analytics on social what the 3 best times of the day are. So for example, today my times were 6:30 a.m., 7:45 a.m., and 9:15 a.m. So even if I wanted to post again, in theory, it wouldn't be my best time. And tomorrow it's telling me based on like my behaviors that tomorrow my best times would be 7 a.m., 8 a.m., or 4:30 p.m. So far it's worked pretty nicely. It's a free app. And so I can't take credit for finding it, but I've been using it the past couple days and it seems to really work. It's called When to Post.
When to Post. Okay, cool. I'm downloading that as soon as we get off. Very cool. Okay, Meg, you had some questions.
Yeah, my big question, I've had people sign up under me, and I think back in May, right before our wedding, I had 5 on my right and 5 on my left, and 1 was an emerald. So all I needed was somebody on my right leg to turn emerald. But my biggest thing is, how do you coach someone to be a coach? That's not just a discount coach. Like, how do you...
You don't. So they either want it or they don't. And so the reality of this business is it's a numbers game. And I don't take away from the fact that people are people. So I still love all my people, but it's a numbers game. If I sign 10 coaches, of those 10, maybe 3 are considering doing more than just getting the discount. And of those 3, maybe 1 will actually hit emerald and do something with it. Okay. So if I only sign 10 if I sign like 1 coach a month, for example, it could take me almost all year to find 1 good working coach. So you're not like, if somebody wants the discount and they don't want to work the business, they're not going to work the business. My most successful coaches are the ones who just wanted it. Or they have that aha moment where they do a program, they get amazing results. People are asking them what they're doing and they're like, oh, okay, now I want to work the business. But your job isn't to get anybody to do anything. Your job, honestly, is to sign as many people as possible and see if in that group of people, who are your future yous, the people that want it as bad as you are. And so the only reason that I have so many successful coaches is because by sheer volume, I bring in, like I sign 25 to 40 coaches a month. You know, in theory, it should be way more than a double superstar diamond, but I'm not, because not all those people will work, and some will work and then they'll drop. And, you know, and so don't focus on getting people. Like, your job isn't to drag people along for the ride. Your job is to just keep recruiting and bringing in more people and getting them amazing results and making them feel part of the community. And they're either going to want to work the business or they're not. Because the reality is I don't have to do calls like this with you. Rhonda doesn't have to do calls like this with you. If you wanted to be successful, you would be with or without her or I. So it literally has nothing to do with you, and it has to do with their internal, like, it's literally, you're looking for hustlers, people who have a heart of service, who enjoy the hustle, who find this business addicting, and your pot of finding people like that becomes smaller and smaller the fewer amount of coaches you sign per month. So don't, like, it's kind of like when someone's like, well, I have 2 inactive coaches on the right. I'm like, I don't ever count inactive coaches. I'm like, if they come back, great, that's bonus. I'm like, but my goal is to, like, I don't even count that, because it's like, I need more people, more people, more people. And sometimes it's also a contagion factor, meaning Coach A says she doesn't want to work the business. All of a sudden, Coach B comes in, is a rock star. Coach A is like, well, wait a minute. If Coach B can do it, why can't I do it, right? So sometimes it's also finding one firecracker in your business who sets all the other coaches in your business on fire, where they're like, oh, okay. It's kind of like what happened with like Emily Falver. It's like Emily went superstar so quickly. Now everyone's like, well, shoot, if Emily can do it, why can't I do it? So it's a little bit of like contagion factor as well.
Perfect. Thank you. Yeah, I guess more in depth would just be like, if they want to work the business, how do you coach them into doing that?
But you don't. So here's the other thing. Your job is to lead by example. Like, I want you to remember that at the end of the day, they signed up to be an independent Team Beachbody coach. Okay. You are there to answer questions. You are there to guide them. You are there to lead them through the process. But at the end of the day, you can't they didn't sign up to be an employee. So there's a complete difference between employee mindset and CEO mindset. And when you focus on trying to get those coaches who want to work the business and you do everything for them, right? You give them all the training, you show them all the things. They're in employee mindset. That person will never grow beyond Emerald. But when, I don't really feel like I did anything for the Rhondas of my business other than I led the way. I hit Success Club. I rank advanced. I show, I set the pace. And of course, when they have questions or want me on a team call, I'm going to do that. But Rhonda is a CEO of her own business.
And that's really why I chose all of you guys to work so individual with you, because that's exactly what every single one of you guys do. I don't have to tell Ashley to hit Success Club. I don't have to tell any of you guys to hit Success Club. I don't have to tell you guys, any of you guys to invite to a challenge group. You guys just do it. And those are the people that you run with, And like Ashley, Danielle, you were talking about, you might recruit all year and get 1 or 2 rock stars. I mean, Ashley was my rock star last year. It was like, I recruited tons of coaches and I got one major, crazy, amazing rock star. And I want you guys to just know that as you recruit, just keep doing it, keep duplicating. And those people that want it, they're going to run with you. You're not going to have to say, here's this, here's that. They're going to go out and find it. Every single one of you guys, when you want something, you go out and get it. You don't come to me and say, hey, Rhonda, where's this on Google? You go and do it,
And remember, you're setting the precedence for how you will be worked with in the future. So if you baby all your coaches in the beginning, you will have to baby every single coach you bring on until the end of time, because that will be a harder thing to break. Whereas if you set the precedence early on, it's a little bit like parenting, right? Which is like, next year my oldest daughter is going to go off to college. I can't brush her teeth for her. I can't make sure she's fed. I have to hope that I guided her enough along the way. And when she calls and asks me questions, of course I'll be there. And if she falls, I'll be there to pick her up. But my job was to grow her away from me, right? And so your job as a coach is to have your coaches grow away from you. Of course I want Rhonda running her own big team. I can't do all the things for Rhonda still. So I think, the better question is if you have a runner, run with them and run really, really fast. And when you don't lose, that's why I feel like our team has so many amazing rock stars is because I've just not stopped running. And because I've not stopped running, they continue to run, Lori always jokes, always one step behind you, because that's kind of the thing. It's okay, I hit these goals, so then she's going to hit these goals. And so then her people want to hit those goals. So don't focus on get and focus more on who are my CEOs, not my employees. The people that want that employee action, they're your forever emeralds. And you know what? They serve a place in your business. They help buffer rank. Some of them will keep up the team morale. I mean, we have some Forever Emeralds on our team that they're an active part of the community. They show up for every team call, but you just know they're not ever going to grow their business. They're the one that, wants to complain every time a package was late or, they didn't have the best call with customer service. Those are just your forever emeralds and they're just going to be part of your team. But the people who are the people who all of a sudden you're whoa, you signed 2 coaches? Those are the people that you give your time and energy to. And when you give your time and energy to them, it's just like this. It's one-on-one mentorship, texting, calling, giving them your time. But they'll figure out, the Coach Online office is amazing. They'll figure out what it means to hit Success Club, or they'll figure out those pieces because they're just so excited about it. So think CEO mindset, not employee mindset.
Yeah, that's my new coach. You guys, you see Erica in the just joined 4 days ago. She already put an invite out and already sold 4 challenge packs. I didn't have to ask her to do it. She just did it. And those are the people. Danielle, I have 2 questions from my coach Danielle in New Jersey. She's freaking killing it. And she couldn't be honest. She was super sad. And they're pretty basic questions, but she wanted to hear what you would say. It says, what is something that Danielle did when she was putting herself out there and not getting the response she anticipated for? I'm sure all coaches have hit this block, eager to know what she does.
Change it up. I'm constantly having to reinvent myself. Here I am 8 years later, right? the way, and thankfully Facebook reminds us of that. Like, right. Like I look at my posts all the time. I'm like, oh, I was like, how do people ever like want to sign up with me? That post is terrible. So you're always going to be in a constant state of reinvention. And here's the thing, you know, social media, in my opinion, is all an experiment. It's an experiment of looking at what posts worked. I'll give you a great example. I for sure thought Melissa McAllister was like, let's run a Max 30 and PIO group. And I'm like, what? I'm like, who even cares about those two programs anymore? That's going to tank. That's not going to do well. Sure enough, posted it. Y'all, I don't know. I think I sold like 45 challenge packs within 1 week from that group, all because they wanted to do Max 30 and PIO. And it was like, I wouldn't have ever thought of that. So I think the answer to that is like I said earlier, try everything. Try all the things. Like already, you know, from our call with Carl Deichler earlier today, I'm like, you know, I haven't really focused on teachers in a while. Like I should really go back to that. Like that's such a, you know, a smart, like, so my wheels are kind of already turning. And so I think the idea is that you've got to constantly be thinking about, you know, think about your favorite brands or, you know, or the biggest brands, Nike, Coke, like whatever. Their marketing doesn't stay the same. They're constantly having to try new commercials, new influencers, new, you know, celebrities, like different color schemes. Why? Because what once worked won't work. And what worked last week may not work this week. And so I think it's just living in a constant state of like renovation. Like, okay, this worked, and if it continues to work, it might work for a while. And then all of a sudden it might not work as well. You go, okay, what can I do differently? How can I change that? So that's kind of my answer for that.
Her other question, I feel like you already answered this, but it says, what is her most favorite thing about being a coach, and how does she project that on social media to draw people into her tribe?
Yeah, I mean, I have so many favorite things about being a coach. So here's the thing. One will be community, right? And I think as females, I think we're all hungry for that. And so I think that's probably one of my favorite. And I'm actually not a super girly girl. So, but community is definitely one. I'll just be blatantly honest. Finance is one of them. Like, are you kidding me? It's like, and you know, I'm reading You Are a Badass at Making Money right now. And if you're not reading it, you should. If you liked You Are a Badass, you'll like You Are a Badass at Making Money. And one of the first things she opens the book up with, it's so true. It's like, why? Like, why is it not okay to want to be financially stable or abundant, right? And so I no longer apologize for that either. And so it has changed my life financially. And so I share that. Also, I turned 40 in 2 weeks and I'm in the best shape of my life, right? So the fitness. So honestly, I don't think it's one thing. It's all the things. And I think it's just sharing that in a way that's extremely authentic. And people can read bullshit, right? Like they can read through social media when you're trying to fake something. And, you know, early on, like I actually don't even share my big financial wins as much anymore because like it's not relatable. But earlier on, when I could put a full tank of gas in my car for the first time, that was a big win. And I shared that. And travel, the first time I went on one of our Beachbody trips, that was a big win. I had never traveled. And you have to remember, there's somebody on the outside of that maybe doesn't need to put a full tank of gas in their car, but sure would love to travel, right? You also have to remember, just because one thing is your favorite thing doesn't mean you shouldn't share all the other subsequent things, because you don't know what the person on the other end of that post is looking for. It's why you kind of have to rotate through, like, okay, community. Sometimes I talk about community in our girl gang, right? The other day I did a post like, some girls are made of sugar and spice. My gang is made of Energize and ice. And then, you know, so sometimes it's like that. Sometimes it is like I posted recently about, you know, purchasing my car and paying for it cash, and like, you know, like that's crazy, right? Like, but that's a thing. That's like a thing that people aspire to be. I also found a husband, you know, through this. I talk about fitness, that, you know, while I don't have a transformation, it's actually harder to look exactly the same for 20 years than it is to gain and lose weight, right? So I'm like aging in reverse. And so each one of those, somebody will connect with. I've identified with my real self. I've found my real voice. So what I would say is that there's lots of things that are my favorite, but I think when you share them really, really authentically, and I can't tell you how to do that. Like how I share really authentically will be different how you share authentically. But I think once you really find and identify your voice, and what I would say is do more videos, like do more lives, do more Insta stories. The more people can hear you, the more they are likely to join you. Insta stories seriously changed the game for my business. Because I kind of think I'm funny. And so that translates so much better over stories than it does via photo, right? Like nobody, like, let's be honest, like Rhonda, I'm sure gets this too. No one likes the really pretty girl with the perfect abs in the nice house. Like no one likes that girl. I get it. But you know, when they see me eating a whole bag of plantain chips in my house, like after I did my workout and doing my team calls and whatever. So I would also say that one of the things to do is, thanks girl, she says I'm funny. One of the things to definitely do is to do more stories. And if you're uncomfortable doing them, cool, get better at doing them. And you don't have to be funny. And a perfect example of this is one of my diamond coaches. Her name is Kristen Caulfield, and she's a doctor. And she's a pediatrician, and her husband's a doctor. They're a 2-doctor family. And she was like, I don't really like stories. I'm not funny. I don't feel like the reality story. I'm like, you don't have to be funny. I'm like, there's some people's accounts that I follow their stories because they're informative. And I'm like, so you need to be the doctor in your stories and be sharing like really important information because I'm going to trust you. If you say Shakeology is good and that my kid can drink it, you're a pediatrician. Like, so also know that like on stories, show up as you, whatever. And that doesn't mean you have to be funny, like, or, you know, it just means that you're showing up as you. But I think that all the pieces matter. Like, you know, I know that my coach Debbie wouldn't have joined me because of the community, and that's what keeps her. She needs the community literally to keep her afloat. And then, you know, there are some people who came in for the fitness at first. Like, think probably like, you know, Rhonda and Lori and all of them really came like for the fitness. They found the other pieces, but fitness is what, if I weren't super fit, they probably maybe wouldn't have been as intrigued. So I would say just identify what your like all your favorite things are and just keep sharing those on rotation, because everybody is going, like my coach who brought me into the business, I needed the money, and she told me she went to Hawaii, she paid her family's mortgage, and I was like, okay, I'm all in, tell me what to do. And so those probably weren't her favorite parts, but that's what she was promoting that day, and that's what spoke to me. And if she had only been promoting fitness, I'd have been like, I got that, like, because I've always been fit. So anyway, super long-winded answer, but I think you've got to share all the pieces on rotation.
That's so smart. And I always forget, I have a Star Diamond coach, Allison, in Texas, that doesn't really show up to anything, so y'all don't really see her too much, but she literally texts me. She's like, I only joined you so I could pay for vacations with my family. The only reason she joined. And it was just seeing all of that. So if you guys have any last questions, I know Danielle, you have to get on another call.
Yeah.
Do you guys have any last questions real quick?
Can I ask one more?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, okay. Just real quick, I'm sorry. So like if you have a coach that has been doing it like 4 months, 6 months, 8 months, you see them showing up every day, they're doing everything. You've had one-on-one calls with them, they're on the team calls, and they reach out and they're just not moving forward. Like, what do you do when you've told them everything, like everything that you know that you do that works for you, that has worked for you, and they're just like, I'm at a loss and I don't know what do you do?
There's a disconnect somewhere.
Right.
Chances are, one, it's usually fitness and nutrition related. Like, usually, okay? So you can show up to every team call and you don't have to have abs, but usually the people who are struggling, it's because they're not being proof our products work, right? Like there has not been any consistency, whatever. So that's usually thing one. Thing two is usually it's a personal development thing. Maybe they are showing up to all the team calls, but I can always tell who's actually like listening and implementing personal development. Thing three is sometimes you have to bless and release. And here's the reality, like it or not, not everyone's good at this. Like, you know what I mean? Like, not everyone's good at this. And so if you've told them all the things and they've tried all the things, you know what? Like at some point you just have to bless and release and just like still be there and be a support system for them. But I wouldn't interject any more energy into it because there's some disconnect somewhere, and I don't know what that is, but you also have to be okay with not being all things to all people. And so if they're not moving forward and you've given them every piece of advice you have, you're not a miracle worker. All you are is an advice giver. And so if you've given advice and it's not working, then you've just got to take a step back.
And what if it's obvious things like, the pictures are huge. They've got to look good. They've got to be eye-catching. There's got to be certain things about them, the way that you word things. What if there's these little things that you see? Do you straight up go, look, I'm going to be honest with you.
Yes.
Suck.
Yes. If you want to move forward, why am I going to sugarcoat? It's like, listen, girl, like your pictures are blurry. Like you need to use a free app and clean that shit up. And you need to have somebody like speak out loud your post and then type it. Like, yes, I am honest. If you come to me and you want advice and you want to move forward, because what does that do? It's like this. It's like it's American Idol syndrome. It's like letting your kid go audition for American Idol when you damn well know they can't sing. Why? Why would you do that? So why would you not, they ask for advice.
Okay.
Give it.
Yeah.
And if they don't want to hear it, then bless and release and move on.
What can you do? Okay.
What can you do?
Thank you so much.
Yeah, but I think somewhere along the way, because we're a female-dominated business, we felt like this had to be all about feelings and stuff. And while I will always find a gentle way to share something with someone, believe it or not, you may not tell that in this moment, but the reality is like, why do I have to worry about your feelings? Do you think like at Nike, they go into a big corporate meeting and go, okay, now this pitch that we had for this skateboarding thing didn't really work out, but Ashley, are you okay? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like they just go in, this didn't work. That's how the corporate world works. And I think we forget sometimes I am running a multi-million-dollar business. So I am not worried about your feelings when I tell you, hey girl, listen, you got to use a filter on those photos. Like that's it. I didn't tell you your children were ugly. I told you you needed to use a filter on your photos. Like, so I think sometimes because we're female dominated, we get a little bit feeling sensitive and we forget that these are big ass businesses we're running with big ass potential. And to tell somebody the truth in a loving and nice way is actually better for them than to continue to lie to them and let them post blurry photos.
I love it. Thank you so much. I love it.
You're welcome.
Danielle, I just have two quick questions. Again, a little bit of logistics. So when you're doing your stories, I love to do stories. I pretty much spend all day doing dang stories. But if other coaches, it seems like I have more coaches watching my stories than actual like people or friends or family or whatever. Is there something that I can do differently to not head that off? Because of course I learned from watching Jade and Ashley's stories and Meg's and Rhonda's, of course, but I'm trying to attract people that aren't in the business. So would you recommend I do change something different, or is that?
They're following you, so they're watching your story. So what you need to do is get new followers. And so how you do that is by seeking out hashtags that are of interest to you that are not Beachbody related. So for example, because I love yoga, if I sought out a bunch of really interesting yoga hashtags and started following and communicating with those people, like I've noticed I've gotten a lot of yoga followers, the people who are like yoga accounts recently, and now those people are watching my stories. So it's not that you need to change how you're posting in your stories. Those people are already following you. That's why they're watching your stories. It's that you need to seek out new followers that are not. And so think about what are the things that you love and start seeking out those hashtags and then being really intentional and like communicating with those people in hopes of getting new followers.
But yeah, I did make the list of 100 hashtags or 50 or whatever the other day, and I kind of changed a few of them, so that's good. Other question is okay, so what I understand Rhonda had said was that, sorry?
Oh, you're
good. You're good.
Okay. What I understood Rhonda to say is we have to hold the ranking when we hit diamond on the 31st, we have to hold it for 6 months.
No. So you have to hold it for 6 weeks. So here's how this works. When you hit diamond, you're diamond. You are now forever a lifetime diamond. And when you drop, there's what's called your lifetime rank and your paid rank. Okay. So for example, Rhonda's lifetime rank is a 7-star diamond. That's the highest rank she's ever gotten. But her current paid rank is a 1-star diamond. Okay. However, Rhonda will not advance in star. Well, actually she would. Here's a sidebar. So if Rhonda were a brand new 1-star, trying to rank advance to 7-star, you would have to hold 6 weeks in order for her to advance in rank. But because she is already a lifetime 7-star, for your rank, your paid rank, it won't. Like, you'll automatically just go back up. However, in order for you to, have you created any diamonds this year, Rhonda?
Yeah, Ashley.
So you have 1 diamond this year. Okay, so she needs 1 more diamond this year who holds for 6 weeks in order for an elite requirement, okay? So if, let's say that you turn diamond on Thursday.
Well,
I don't know, I'm echoing.
my third business center turned diamond 2, that counts, right?
Huh?
My third turned diamond 2, that counts, right? For the year? I know, right? I don't know.
I got to look that up. I'll look that up for you. But moral of the story is this is how it works in the grand scheme of things. Let's just use Ashley as an example. So Ashley is a lifetime diamond, okay? She's already held that for 6 weeks. So that requirement, as far as Rhonda creating 2 new diamonds, she's got 1 of them on lock, okay? But if Ashley's coach, I forget what you said her name was, turns diamond, that girl will need to hold it for 6 consecutive weeks before Ashley will turn in official 1-star diamond. Ashley will go into what's called 1-star qualifying, okay? And so she's got 6 stressful weeks to make sure that nobody drops before. So, but the goal is always to be what we call a non-shaky diamond, right? So we don't want you to hit diamond and then drop the next week. But I love you guys all very much. But I have to jump on our team call now. Rhonda, I'll look that up for you, whether or not your second CBC counts. But you're going to have plenty of diamonds, and we got to get you back to rank anyway, so it's all going to work out. And if y'all ever need anything, just message me. That's what I'm here for. Yeah, you're welcome. And anyway, so watch the Carl Deichler call, and then we're about to get on with Autumn Chi Talk. So if you can stay on, or jump on the other link, great. If not, watch the recording, and I'll see you guys soon.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.